share what's working and even the things that aren't, so that we can band together and elevate ourselves, our businesses, and our lives. When we link arms and grow together, we're able to have a ripple effect that impacts not only our businesses and our teams, but also our families, our communities, and our world. Without further ado, I'm super excited to welcome to the studio today Keir Beeman. She is a real estate entrepreneur and investor. Welcome to the studio, Keir.
Welcome, Jen. Thanks so much for having me today.
So, Keir, real estate entrepreneur, things are happening that are crazy. We're in markets we've never seen before. How are you mitigating that in your business and for your clients?
I think really for your clients, you just have to set realistic expectations for them and help them to understand what is happening in the market, to educate them, to set the proper expectations so they fully understand what they're getting into, especially with buyers right now. It's a challenging time for them. So as long as you educate them and give them all the information they need to make the best decision.
And so you hit on the hot button right now. We've been seeing just this real struggle for buyers. And with the education, how are you also able to maintain that excellence, that customer experience, so that they walk away from the stress of home buying right now with a positive feeling?
It's all about having a good relationship with your clients. It's all about great communication, talking to them step by step. I mean, I'm in communication with my clients daily. What's happening today, what's going to be happening tomorrow, where we are in the process, and what the next steps are. So I think it helps alleviate some of the anxiety and helps them be prepared for what's going to happen.
Yes, absolutely. You said something that is really key, and that's the communication side. As long as we're communicating on a regular basis, like, people want to know. And it's really interesting because I was at a mastermind a couple weeks ago, and one of the things that they said about building relationships, whether you're talking about your clients, business partners, or what have you, one of the most important things is not to go ghost. Right? Not to stop communicating and not to just go silent on somebody even when things aren't going well. And so in today's world, that's kind of something that's common. People don't communicate when things are not going well. How are you able to maintain that when the news is generally not good regularly, because the market is so hot?
Like you said, people need information, and I think whether it's bad news or good news, people want the information. They want to know what's happening. I think people have more anxiety when they don't hear anything, when their worst fears, they're dreaming up their worst fears. But if you're honest with people and tell them what's happening, sometimes they have disappointing news, but at least they know the truth.
Fantastic. I absolutely adore that you're speaking truth into them. And that's part of what we're here to do. We're here to talk about the truth behind the business. Also joining us today in studio is Patria Leone. Patria is an amazing also entrepreneur and investor. Patria, in today's crazy whirlwind economy and everything that's happened, stress is at an all-time high. How are you able to communicate effectively, impactfully in the space that you operate in, just to kind of tie into what we're conversing on with Keir?
Well, I do have quite a few investments, and as well as a few businesses. So it tends to be stressful at times. That is a huge issue with any decision making that you have, and that's where it affects your finances. So when you are thinking about investing in a commercial property or a residential, it's so important to really take a step back, have that mindset, find the root cause of your stress, so you're able to make better decisions. Right now I have a commercial property in New Mexico that we're redoing, and there's so much going on with it. It stressed us out to the point where the deal almost didn't go through. Things like that, you need to take a step back, and you need to not allow it to affect you so much, because that's when the emotions kick in and the stress kicks in, and then you make a poor financial decision, whether it can go either way, whether you're spending too much on a property or not enough on a property, and then you lose a good deal.
So you touched on a couple of things that I really want to dive into, because I think that we can go vertical. We have two people who really understand the real estate space and and entrepreneurship and investing, and so it is stressful when you're going through and you might lose a good deal because you look into spending too much, because you mentioned that a moment ago with your rehab. How do you know when it's the right time to just walk away? And I'm going to ask that question a little differently to Keir, like for Keir's input. How do you know to tell your client, hey, this is not going to appraise at that. It's not a good idea to do this at this stage in the game. Maybe we should look at another thing, so that you're protecting one of the biggest investments for most people is their house, right? So I'm going to put it to Patria and to Keir, like, how do you know when it's time to walk away in a hot market?
Well, for me, I have to, you know what? I have to be told to walk away. I'm not going to lie. Because if I want something and I go after it, I mean, I do. I'm being dead honest. Because if there's a property, you know, and I know, Keir, you can definitely understand where clients are coming from. When you are so tied into something and you have your plan and your vision for that property, whether it's commercial or residential, you want to keep going with it. So I have to have somebody say, look, you got to say yes or no. You know what I mean? You have. So I need to have the voice of reason, because once I'm hooked into something, I want it. That's how. And do you ever experience that? You know what I mean, with your client, where they have that vision and you just, whether they decorate it or redo it or, you know, have a different purpose for it. I don't want to let that go. So that's a big issue for me, but I always have a voice of reason to help me, you know.
Reel it in.
Yeah, reel it in.
For me, with my clients, I mean, it is tough for buyers right now. They're having to bid way over asking price. They're waiving appraisals, waiving inspections and such. I've had a lot of first-time home buyers, young couples, and I have to tell them sometimes it's not a good decision. For some of these ones, you know, they're wanting to go 30, 40 over, and for a young couple just starting out, that's not a good decision. They don't need to waive an inspection. So those things, I do have to tell them it's not a good decision, and let's find something else that's more appropriate for you.
And so I want to dive into the emotion behind that, because you're doing the thing that's hard. And I want to point out to this, if you're watching this and you're an entrepreneur, if you're in this space, sometimes we have to do the things that are hard, and we have to say the hard things. I know for me as a coach, like, it's essential. I'm always having to tell my clients that's not the right decision. Like, I have to say the things they don't want to hear. So how are you able to separate the emotion from this? Because this is a question I get a lot from our viewers. How are you able to separate the emotion from the business? Because that's something that a lot of people struggle with, especially when your clients are emotionally invested in something that you have to say, that's not the best idea for you financially. How are you able to separate your own emotions from that situation, Keir?
It's really the clients. They have the emotions attached to it, so it's me to be the voice of reason and to give realistic information and give honest information. So that's why you have a professional helping you to take the emotions out of it and make sure it is a good business decision. It's hard. People have been disappointed, and it's hard when my clients are disappointed time and time again when their offers don't get accepted. But I always just tell them the right one's going to happen when it's meant to be, and we just have to keep pressing on.
Yeah, and sometimes the best deal that you do is the one you don't do, or the one that you walk away from, because if it's going to if it's going to depreciate, or you're not going to see the value in that, then that's not really a sound decision. So thank you for being that professional for people. So Patria, you have a voice of reason. I'm really curious, who is your voice of reason? And when that voice of reason comes in and says, oh, it's time to walk away from this, and it's something that you're emotionally invested in, how are you able to pull yourself out and gain that perspective so that you can continue to move forward and get on to the next thing?
Well, I always have, we have an attorney, an accountant, business partner. I actually, when you're working with people, with so many people, you get so many different things coming at you and different reasons why. And I do believe this is so true. Men think and see things very differently when it comes to finances or real estate. And I'm a very emotional person. I'm a passionate person. I'm a dramatic person. So, so when I really want something, and I'm impulsive. So I really do take heed on the professional, the professionals at hand, whether it's my financial advisor, accountant, whether it's Steve, he's being realistic. That's the biggest issue, being realistic with your numbers. I will tell you this too, flipping, and if you're going to rehab a property, it's not just about the money that you're purchasing the property. It's also having the proper people in place to do the work, having the money and the budget. that is one thing I will say. You have to be so tight with the budget when you're rehabbing. And I have done so many properties where I've gone over budget because I want this and want that, want it to look better. But that is a huge part. Right now, things are back ordered. You have less labor available. And that has been a huge problem getting the people. I mean, right now we're paying triple of what we normally would for just one of the lots that we purchased to have cleanup. I mean, it's not usually unheard of, but that's the time that we're in right now, and they have the capability to charge you what they're charging you. So you really got to really leave a buffer on your budget. That's huge.
Yeah, I know that right now, blowing budget is kind of commonplace in the real estate market because of supply chain and materials are up and labor is up and labor is short and you're kind of in that situation. So I'm going to ask, like, because this is something that we need to talk about. The truth behind the flipping businesses, you make your money on the buy. You have to buy well. So I'm going to ask from the real estate professional side with Keir, and then also from the person who's doing the flipping with Patria, like, how are you able to ensure that you're viable in the buy in this market that's so crazy and it's very competitive? Like, how are you able to find the right deals in that space? And then also, where is there opportunity if you are on a fixed budget that you can still make a buy and make a deal? It might just be in a different location or have a different parameter. Like, how are you guys navigating that space? I'm going to start with you, Patria. How are you making sure you're making the right buy?
You know what? First of all, never buy something that's listed. Resurrect that property. Find properties that are on back taxes, that have been totally, abandoned for a really long time. And I know land is huge right now. There are so many different, especially, I live in Arizona, especially with land in Arizona or property that you have these lots that they just drive by and nobody's really paying any attention to it, and it's been abandoned or it has back tax issues. Resurrect something, make a deal happen. And that's actually how the New Mexico property had happened. And there was 3 acres, one of the most amazing commercial properties within the town, and it was just sitting there. And the family was not even educated on the fact of what they really had, and because it was left in a will, it was willed to someone. Those type of properties are the best. That's the best way to find a property, whether it's land or a building or a home. Try to resurrect something for that nobody else is paying attention to, and it's not listed. That's how we do it. That's how we do it.
Absolutely. Anything that's in the MLS, it's not good for investors. It is a tough time for investors right now. It's hard to find good deals. The MLS is not the place. Like Patria was saying, you have to shake the trees. You have to, ask your relationships, your friends. Do they know anybody? People in distress or under hardship. They may need someone to help them out. Tax properties or things like that, those are excellent deals too. But you have to shake a lot of trees to find a good deal.
And so as we're shaking trees and finding the things that no one else is finding, we're also adding value to that. So I want to kind of shift the conversation a little bit, because not everybody's an investor and not everybody's interested in investing, but like, if you're finding a property and it needs work and you're adding value to that property, how are you able to envision what that looks like? Like, how are you able to make that decision? Talk to me about that entrepreneurial strategy process behind what you're seeing before you make the decision to press go.
What are you asking?
You, Patria.
Oh, okay.
You, Patria. You started.
You know what? When I do a property, I mean, I definitely have a vision, and I just dive into. I get one thing that's inspirational. Key is this: like, when you're redoing something, you have to know your brands and the quality, but you have to know prior to moving forward with a plan. You really have to know what you really want to put into it, what level, whether it's high quality. A home that I had in Newport Beach was ultimate quality, but I knew putting into it, we were going to get much more out of it, and that normally doesn't happen. But that market, Newport Beach, California, is very different. So you have to really know your brands and the quality of the things and the price point that you want to stay with, and that's how I approach something whenever I'm out doing a property, whether it's commercial or residential.
Yep. You have to have a vision for what you're doing. You have to know the market and what the comps, the resale value will be, so you know how much you can invest in the upgrades and the renovations. Also having experts who, that's their business. They know what's a good value, where they can get the supplies. They know the pricing, all of that. So having a good team helping you with the project as well.
Fantastic. And Kiera, I'm going to ask you another question that kind of goes into this, because it's really hard for first-time home buyers because prices are so high right now and interest rates are high. And so when you're looking at this as a first-time home buyer, is it something where they might look at it from an investor perspective? They want to be in a home, they may have money to put into it. Is that an area, the value add market, that would be viable for some of those buyers?
Absolutely, it is. Every individual is different. Some people are going to look at a property and they want something that is ready to go. They don't have the time or the energy or the ideas to renovate something, so they want something that's ready-made to go. So it just depends, knowing your clients, knowing their abilities and such. But I always tell people, too, to go into a property, since inventory is so tight. All buyers have a list of things they want, a list of everything they want in a home. But I tell people to keep an open mind. Certain things can be changed easily and inexpensively, paint and things. So keep an open mind about the potential too, because like I said, the inventory is so tight, it's always hard to find something that has everything on your checklist.
Absolutely. Even when the market inventory is not tight, to get everything you want on your checklist might not necessarily be viable in some markets. So I love that we're having this in-depth real estate conversation. We unfortunately need to take a couple moments for a few breaks, but we will be right back after these messages. Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Gaudet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Hi everybody, I am Jeffrey Reichel with Unique and Fresh Consulting. We are a sales and marketing consulting company and we offer 4 services. We offer remote sales management services for your hotel, so we will hunt in your market and find the right business to make sure that we're helping you grow your revenues. We also offer secret shopper services, so we'll come into your restaurant, your hotel, your retail space, and help you find the opportunities for improvement in your customer service before it gets to that bad review. We also offer group travel planning services. So if you're planning a group trip anywhere within the United States or Canada, contact us and we'll help you find the best deal to fit your budget. And lastly, we can offer you sales and marketing analyzation of all your company's sales and marketing efforts. So we'll come in and talk to your sales leaders, find out what they're doing, what their processes are, and find the rooms for improvement to make sure, again, that we help you grow your revenues. Again, I am Jeffrey Reichel with Unique and Fresh Consulting, 917-346-0801, and our handle is @Unique and Fresh Consulting on social media. Let's set up an appointment today and give you a unique experience.
Welcome back to Power CEOs, the truth behind the business. I'm Jen Gaudet, your fearless host. If you're just now tuning in, you're going to want to catch the first segment because we talked all all things real estate, investment. We're talking about what's happening in the market and how to add value and find the right deal. And you can do that by going to NowMedia.tv or check us on all the pods. But let's get right back into our conversation. We were talking about sometimes the best deal is the one you walk away from. And sometimes as professionals, we have to say the hard things to our clients to protect them and to protect their investment and to make sure that we have their best interests at heart. And that's hard, it's challenging. And in real estate right now, it's been very hot market for a very long time. So buyers are really kind of beat down. It's hard to be a real estate professional in today's environment. And so through all the communication and the stress and the things that we talked about in the last segment, I want to kick it over to Keir and say, I know that you really enjoy the feeling of getting somebody into their first home or their next home. That's like really what keeps you going. So in a market like now, when you're having to say the disappointing things and you're having to really go through that, and maybe it's multiple offers and a longer time frame to get to that, on the days that you're really struggling with the energy to keep going, how are you regenerating that? What are you doing to relieve the stress and to keep motivated so you can show up for your clients?
One of the things I've really gotten into a good fitness routine that has totally helped my mindset. It has helped me to relieve stress, to just get refocused and regrouped, because honestly, you could work almost 24 hours a day. So that has really helped me to recharge and just step back for a minute. Also a lot of ongoing education that helps me to refresh, learn what else is happening in the market, learn some new skills. So it's a combination of things.
I love it. And you said some of the magic words, which is have a fitness routine, move your body to get the blood going and to really impact that mental health and stress relief. So Patria, I'm going to let you weigh on that because that is absolutely your area of expertise.
Yes, absolutely. I love that I got the chills when she said fitness routine.
We both lit up. I think we both know that.
I'm a health strategist, first and foremost, and I do real estate investment and things to that nature. I've done that for years, but it is so vitally important. And that also, as I said before, your mindset, your overall health and wellness, your relationships and finances, they are all intertwined. They're the foundations of your life. So when you're making, you want to make those financial decisions as an entrepreneur, we invest so much time and effort into our careers, whereas you neglect your self-care. So when you said that, Keir, I love that because it is so true. And that's where it also alleviates a lot of stress. And when you have less stress and you can make better decisions, a full routine, I don't care what you're doing in your life, what your work consists of, if you don't take at least 45 minutes of your day to your self-care, you are doing yourself a disservice. And I'm a health strategist. If you need any help, you'd always be able to. My information's right on the screen, but that is a huge part of it, and that affects your mindset overall.
So we've been talking about mindset a lot, and I love that you tied that in because it's true. If we're not healthy, we can't focus. We have less creativity in our problem solving. When we're stressed, we don't have the focus to be able to have speed of implementation and really grow our businesses. But when we're talking about that mindset shift, tell me more. Like both of you mentioned mindset. I know I'm a coach, so mindset's a big piece of what I do. Tell me more about what mindset is necessary to navigate challenging times in business, and how were you able to get into that mindset and keep that kind of growth mindset so that you can persevere? Because we all know, and one of our coaches just recently said, success is failure plus perseverance. And it's the little failures that we learn from and pick ourselves up from and persevering and continuing on that allows us to have our greater successes. So what do you guys do? How are you able to up-level your mindset? And what is something you can give as a takeaway for our listeners? I'll let Patria start.
Well, for me, first of all, if you know me, I am 2 hours a day at the gym. That is my mental stability. I take my self-care. Whether it's my skin, my food, nutrition, my hormones, every single thing is balanced for me. Because everything that you consume, it dictates your flight or fight response, how your body responds to whether it's weight gain, stress, sleep. And when you start to get into sleep deprivation, that messes with your clarity and your focus and your weight and your energy. That affects your decision making, and that actually affects financial situations because you can't perform fully in your work. So Mine is self-care. My priority is my self-care, and sometimes I get a lot of flack for it because I put too much time into it. I don't care. I'm high maintenance for myself, and I love it. But I will tell you, it helps me to stay clear, and I make great decisions usually if I'm not being too impulsive. But yeah, you have to know your body. You cannot fix or manage anything if you're not aware, and yeah, that's my key. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. And I can tell you I'm going to have you take over with this, but I have a real estate decision that I just found out that I walked away from, and I should have never walked away from it, and it was really poor decision. But it was because of where I was in my mindset at that moment, and it cost me a lot of money that I didn't make. So.
Well, at least you're honest about being high
Yeah.
maintenance.
I'm high maintenance only for me, not for anyone else.
I think it's about balance, just finding my work balance, my life balance, my spirituality balance, my quality time with my husband. It's all about having balance, and that, before in the corporate world, my life was all work, work, work. It was totally out of balance. My health went down the tube, just everything, gained weight. Just no balance, and so you're not satisfied, you're not happy. Now being in real estate and being the CEO of my business, I do have time to do the things that I feel passionate about, to take care of my health and fitness, to spend quality time. So you have to have that balance. I love my job and I devote a lot of time and energy to it, but in order to show up best for my clients, I have to take care of myself too.
God, I love that.
That's really
chills again.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. And more on the mindset side of things, like if you're watching this, you're like, wow, these ladies, they know what they need to do, and they're taking care of business, and they like where they are in life, and you're sitting there going, wow, I'm not there. I wish I was there. It's really easy. Like a growth mindset, the mindset for success means you're willing to throw out what you're doing, go to the experts and say, hey, what am I missing here? And to do something different. You only have to do one thing different to impact a change, and that will create momentum and allow things to flow. So when you ladies feel stuck, like when you get stuck, because we all do, let's be real, it's the human element. We've all been stuck at some point in time. Some of us more so than others. Yes, I am talking about me. I have coaches, multiple, for a reason. When you are stuck, how are you able to get that momentum or move the needle? Does it look like a step back? Does it look like a side step? Does it look like a shift? Are you reaching out to somebody? How are you able to get yourself unstuck? I'll start with you, Kier.
Okay. It definitely happens for everyone, everyone that's in business for themselves. Sometimes you have to take a step back, take a minute to just get yourself regrouped, but it's so important to have a good circle, a good support system, and to let yourself be vulnerable to other people and say, hey, I am in need right now, I am struggling, I am on a team of realtors, fantastic group of people, so I know I can go to them and say, hey, I'm stuck right now, I need some encouragement. So just asking, that was something, a very hard lesson for me. I was always, I can do it myself, I don't need help. So that was one of my biggest, letting myself be vulnerable to people and saying, hey, I need some help right now, I'm struggling. So everyone should have a good support system.
I totally agree with you, because that was actually one of the biggest things that I struggled with my whole life. I was always taught not to be vulnerable. But I'm fortunate, for me, I also have another health strategist working with me, Nancy Battles. She has been a godsend. But like you, Jen, I also have multiple coaches. And I was told for a year and a half, you are moving forward, and I kept hitting a wall, and getting stuck. Then you feel bad, then you feel defeated. And it's very rare that I have low energy, because I'm such an energetic person, but when I have low energy, then you know something's not right. And you get into your own head, and then you start doubting yourself. I had to heed everybody's words. Take a step back. Take a day to do nothing. Think of nothing else, because then you refresh, you regroup, you're rejuvenated, and you can take, step forward to be more creative. And I never believed it. It took me a year and a half to sit here and really hit the wall very hard, and then be like, oh yeah, this is what I have to do. So I agreed with everything that you said, but it took me so long to listen and do that. And it definitely works. Taking a step back so you can see everything as a whole, because you push yourself into the ground a little when you feel that way.
Absolutely. Gives you a new perspective.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely, and if you're hitting the wall and you're hitting the wall and you're hitting the wall, it's because all you see is the wall. And you step back, all of a sudden you see the door is just over there to your left. And you just go through the door.
Exactly.
You know, and it's really funny because that's what coaches do for me personally, and that's why I fell in love with coaching and became a coach ultimately, is because the coach literally, like, I was shining my flashlight and I was just going, and there was that wall, but the coach just kind of took that and went, and shined it over there and goes, well, what about those doors? Oh, there's 4 opportunities right there, and it's perfect for me, you know? And so that objective perspective and having the support network and being able to ask for support, I think it's one of the hardest things for high performers. And Kier, you said it perfectly. I had the same challenge, like and Patria as well. I was taught you don't ask for support because, you know, you don't want to be weak. But actually, if you're watching this, asking for support, reaching out to a professional who's been where you are, who has had that success and has already done it or has helped others to do it, that is actually courage. That is strength. It requires strength to be vulnerable. It requires strength to ask for the support that you need, and is so vitally important. And one of the things that I've noticed, the things that set people apart who are able to get to this level of success versus this level of success is the people who get to this level of success, they go and they invest in themselves. They invest in learning. They invest in continuing education. They invest in coaching and professionals who are going to help them get to that next level. And everyone else kind of stays here. And so if you take anything away, it's be okay with being vulnerable and saying, hey, I don't know that. Because the reality is none of us know everything. We all have areas where we can go to the experts to make sure that we're seeing the full picture. And so when you rely on people, how do you know the right person or persons for you, the right support network, the right group of entrepreneurs, the right coaches, the right professionals? How do you ladies find the right support for you? And how do you know that that's the right circle for you? I'll start with you, Patria.
Well, for me, I do have a few coaches, and I have a great trainer. I have to have that person mirror my energy. It sounds silly, but if I have someone that's very low energy, I'm 200 miles and I'm spinning around them. That's what I feel. So with my trainer at the gym, he is incredible, but he's worked with, you know, NFL football players with mindset as well as their physical fitness for 25 years. So he helps me think to put things into perspective, and he coaches me with my business. As far as my business coach, his energy and directness and straightforward, JT Fox for me, the moment that he looked at me and he goes, you think everybody wants to be like you? And I'm like, no, I don't, but I loved that he said that to me because no one would say that to me ever. But his directness, I need someone who's gonna be direct, tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong, tell me exactly what I need to do to change certain things. And I need to have somebody see me the way no one else will, if that makes any sense. Just like JT Fox.
Yeah.
And it opens up your eyes and it helps you to learn and change certain things. And yeah, I have changed so much in the past 4 years with my business and my personal life. And it's been amazing for me.
Okay, so energy. They have to match your energy, and
Match
they
my
have to be
energy.
no BS and tell you the things that people are afraid to say.
Very direct. Yep.
Fantastic. Kier, how about you? How do you find the right people to reach for support, the right circle? How do you find that for you?
I think it's getting to know people, building those relationships, and as you get to know people, you're going to find out who they are and if they're a good fit for you, if they are going to be a person that's going to be truthful with you. Like she said, no BS, give it to me straight. That's how I like it. I'm direct with people. I want someone to be the same with me. So as you get to know people, you find out, are they the same as you? Will they be straight? And if they're not, that's okay, but you'll find someone else. As with your coaching, Jen, you're very straightforward, direct, give you the tools you need to be successful, assign the task, hold you accountable. That's what people need, and that's so beneficial for me.
I totally agree. The implementation part of it is huge. That is a very, very big part of it, and that is like embedded in my brain from several coaches, as well as your CEO Mondays. Implementation, which is so true.
So on that note, you know, we're talking about implementation, we're talking about asking for support, we've talked about a lot of things today. If people are stuck and they're stuck in their mindset, or maybe they don't know what's wrong, what is one thing they can do today that can help them to get unstuck? That way we can give them something to implement immediately. So put yourself in their shoes. They're stuck. They're having the same. What is one thing they can do right now that can help kind of loosen that, stuckness and get them moving forward? Patria, why don't you start?
I would say, definitely ask, but there's a lot of people that would never allow someone else to know that they're stuck, no matter what it's with. So I would say, if you're stuck with anything, whether it's in your personal or your business life, to take a step back, make a list of what really stresses you out or where you're feeling that you're struggling. As a health strategist, we work with mindset, overall health and wellness, relationships, and finances. So if there's one thing you're struggling with, as I said, you're going to struggle in all areas and you may not know it. So if you really think about what's stressing you out, you'll be able to, or making you feel down or bad or energy, what's that little voice inside your head that's self-doubting, creating self-doubt? Make a list and really try to combat that. And if you need help, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to have a coach. It's okay to have a therapist. Whatever is going to work for you, make that list. Get a pulse on what's really, really, messing with your life or your feelings or your thoughts and holding you back with anything. That's what I would definitely suggest, because that's what I do.
And be honest with yourself. I think that's the big thing. A lot of us, when we're stuck, we're not really brutally honest with ourselves. This is the time, if you're feeling stuck, get brutally honest with all the areas you're being stuck. And to Patria's point, something that I've found really is impactful is it may be, I'm not doing the things I need to do in my health. I've gotten off of my workout routine. I am not necessarily eating and fueling my body well, and I'm not doing something in my business. What you do in one area, you do in all. So pick the area that's the easiest for you to take one action on. For me, it's really easy for me to change my diet when I'm at home. So if I make just that change, it helps to create the momentum, and I have that little success so I can keep moving forward. So I really love that you brought that up. Kier, how about you? What is one thing that you want people to take away if they're stuck that they can do today to get unstuck?
I would say for people to take one small step or one small action. It's kind of what you're saying, Jen. Because sometimes we get overwhelmed with all the things we have to do as an entrepreneur, just life and this and that. Take one small step, one small action where you can feel good about yourself, where you can say, I accomplished something, even if it's the most minute thing. And then you can build on that. One small step may lead to another small step, and stacking those habits. So take one small step.
All right, you heard it here first, one step at a time. We do have to take a quick break. We'll be back right after these messages.
If you are looking for someone who can provide stunning photography and videos and knows exactly what it takes to get your listing sold or boost your personal brand, Matt Pierce Photography is your solution. My focus is on helping you make the very best first impression that you possibly can. We help you use images and videos effectively in your brand and marketing design to tell your story. Give your corporate image the presence it deserves. Your headshot and your branding is your first impression with clients and business partners. What message are you sending? At Matt Pierce Photography, we believe that pictures and video make information easy to remember, so it makes your message stick. With clean, sleek, simple, and powerful, well-edited images and videos will make you stand out from the crowd. Get your products or listings sold quicker, establishing you as an expert, attracting new clientele. We also offer an array of other products and services such as video walkthroughs, property and agent commercial videos, and a full-service video production house to help bring your story to life. See, when you grow, we grow. So let's grow together. Matt Pierce Photography is your solution for your real estate, corporate, branding, or marketing photography and video needs. Take a decisive step on growing your image and telling your brand story. Call me today for a free consultation.
I'm here to take you to a new frontier, the final frontier. In fact, you and I are going where no one has gone before. I'm Glenn Henderson, entrepreneur, success coach, and musician, And I want to personally invite you to take this journey with me in the pages of my best-selling new book, All I Need to Know About Success I Learned from Star Trek. We'll travel aboard the USS Enterprise along with Captain James T. Kirk, Spock, and the finest crew in Starfleet. And we'll learn together about success principles like how to work with a team and accomplish your goals, when to fight for what you believe, and when not to, and what your business really is, no matter what you do for a living. Beam aboard with me. My mission is your success, and I'll see you on the bridge. Live long and prosper.
Hi, my name is Amelia Young, and I am a breast cancer survivor. When I was diagnosed with cancer in 2016, I endured not only difficult physical challenges, but also mental challenges such as anxiety, depression, anger, and a great uncertainty about the future. In 2017, I went into remission, and I decided my goal was to provide to women like me a supportive and nurturing place to retreat, recharge, and heal. That is why I created Sumantra Holistic and became a breast cancer mentor and healing minister. I know from experience what you and your loved ones are going through, the sadness, the fear, the anger, and I know how to mentor you and yours during these difficult times. Let me help you. Let me be part of your holistic healing process. Let's walk this path together towards peace, health, and mental balance.
Welcome back to Power CEOs, the truth behind the business. I'm Jen Gaudet. If you're just now tuning in, you're going to want to catch the rest of this show. It has been all kinds of awesome. We have talked about how to know that the real estate deal is right for you. We've talked about the real estate market, how to create value, how to know what's right for you in that space. And we shifted into the stress of what's going on and how to move forward and how to get unstuck if you're stuck in mindset. So we've had a whole lot of amazing conversation. If you're just tuning in, go to NowMedia.tv, check out the show and catch the whole show. And we're going to keep on the vein. In the break, we were talking about pulling this all together because we've talked about real estate, we've talked about mindset, we've talked about growth, we've talked about a whole lot of things. And discipline came up, believe it or not. So I think I want to ask our ladies, because both of them have had massive success. They've done a lot of changes. They've implemented the habit stacking that we talked about. So I think I want to put the question, how do you have the discipline to make the changes and implement the things that we talk about? Because we can talk about this all day until we're blue in the face, but the reality is if people don't take action, then nothing ever happens and you're just the same as you were today. You're just a little bit smarter maybe, I don't know. I'm not gonna be so bold as to say that, but how do you have the discipline? What are your practices to put these little habit changes in so that you can move forward and have a different result? And I'm gonna ask here first.
I think it's about making those small changes. That was one of my biggest hurdles for me, especially as far as fitness. I've always struggled with my weight. I've always said I wanted to lose weight and such, but it has never happened. But I started making small changes, tiny, like make a change 1 week at a time, and then I could feel accomplished that I accomplished that goal this week. Then the next week, implementing another small change. I'm not going to change the world or my habits or anything overnight. It takes time. So just, implementing small changes one after the other, like you said, habit stacking, adding a new habit every week or every 2 weeks, and it's been life-changing for me. My whole mindset has changed now just because I've seen the results. I've, reaching some of my goals and just feeling good about the discipline that I've implemented. I never had it. So those small steps, people think they have to change the world overnight, change your eating habits, give up everything. it takes time, and one little thing at a time.
Awesome.
Totally.
Patria, how about you?
Totally agree with everything that Kira said, and I love it because that's what I teach. Small tasks to create positive habits. It's a process. It's 0 to 10, not 0 to 100. I know I love instant gratification more than anybody, but if you work, for me, I have to stay extremely disciplined. I never ever, I schedule every single thing, everything in my day, even my gym time, my self-care, no matter what it's with. I always never deviate from that. There is nothing that's going to get me away from that because that is my mental stability as well. And the minute that that happens, everything will start crashing down and I won't have the day that I need to have the next day. So as far as small, small tasks, big results. And you won't see it coming. You'll be like the first week, you'll go, week 1, you're going to be, this is good. I'm glad I took this step. Week 2, you're going to be already going, I already feel better. Week 3, you're like, why did I wait so long? And week 4, you're going to be like out with the old habits, in with the new, and then you're going to want to keep going. You become addicted to that really good feeling. So I think tying everything together would be total discipline within yourself, within your business, within your personal life. They're all tied together.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that. And so to kind of put it a little bit more into semantics, what it might look like is today I want to lose weight. Let's just use that as an example because business examples are a little bit more difficult. It includes numbers and you may not want to think about numbers right now, which is fine, but you need to know your numbers in business. It's a soapbox of mine. But if you want to lose weight, for example, a lot of people just go for the gusto when they do the diet and the exercise and all the things at once. And then what happens? Your inner child 2 weeks in goes, no! I just want all the cheeseburgers, french fries, and milkshakes I can have. I'm going to slug out for the next 10 days watching TV. Like literally, you're asking for it. We cannot do all the things at once. We as human beings are not made that way. Humans don't like change, but we do love routine. And so if that is you, it's the one small change. So if you know you're going to change your diet, start with just one extra green on your plate. Like pick one thing. If you don't eat greens, Jen is not saying you have to eat greens, but if that's the decision that you make for the sake of this example, then put that in your calendar. And then when you have it, check it off. Because that's the accountability. Like you have to have the goal. The goal is I want to lose weight. These are the steps. I'm going to eat more nutritious. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to manage my stress. You have the steps. And then you break it down into one thing per week, like Kier was saying, and say the first thing you decide is you're going to actually eat something green because that's not something you do. And so you're going to actually put it in your calendar. And when are you going to do that? You're going to decide I'm going to do it at lunch, or maybe I'm going to do it at breakfast and mix it in with my eggs so that I get it out of the way, whatever. But then you check it off, and that's the accountability at the end of the day. So it's not just having the plan and breaking it into bite-sized chunks. It's putting it into your calendar and making sure that you do it and having accountability. And I am going to say this. The best thing you can do is have an accountability buddy or a coach to make sure to hold you accountable to whatever it is. Whether it's business, relationship, life, doesn't matter. Have somebody who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to tell you straight with no BS what you're doing. So if you are listening to this today, that is the best action step you can do. What is your goal? Break it down into bite-sized pieces. Put it in your calendar. And we were talking about this earlier. The most efficient and productive people in business have everything scheduled. Everything. I'm talking down to the breaks. Every minute in your day is scheduled, and you're able to do more because you have the discipline to do it, and you have that accountability for yourself and for someone else. Ladies, we have just a few more moments. What I would love is, what is your takeaway that you want our listeners and our viewers to take away and literally put into practice right now based off of our conversation today? And also if you'll share with them how you would like to be reached. Kira, let's start with you.
I think what you're talking about scheduling and such, that was a big one for me, learning how to time block and put everything on your calendar. Because there's so many days, especially in real estate, things can go haywire, and it's easy for all of a sudden your whole day to be gone. You're like, wow, I really didn't accomplish anything. I've been putting out fires all day. So really blocking out the time for whatever it is you need to do, your marketing, your exercise, your just putting it on your calendar. At the end of the day, you see you've accomplished everything in your day. So that's a big win.
How can people reach you if they want to get in touch with you regarding real estate or entrepreneurship or anything in between? How can they reach you, Kier?
I can be reached by phone number 281-989-6628, or my email is up there as well, kier.beeman@garygreen.com.
Fantastic. Patria, how about you? What is the takeaway that you want our viewers, our listeners to put into action right now?
Well, first of all, you can't put anything into action if you are not honest with yourself. And that, we already talked about that, but that is a huge part of it. The moment that you might be a little unsure of where to start or lack motivation, that's with anything. If that you're in that predicament, you've got to be honest with yourself that something needs to change, and then be disciplined enough. And that first step to admit that you have something to change, if you're aware of it, then you'd be able to manage and fix it. You cannot manage or fix anything that you're not aware of. And I'm all about self-care being priority, because if you are not taking care of yourself, how are you going to take care of anything else? And if you are unsure, you can go to forhealthywealthy.com. It's on the screen there. You can follow me at Instagram at Patria Leone, or my Facebook page at Health for Wealth LLC. If you be able to reach out, take the assessment on the website, and then you'll see where you're at. And that's definitely what I would say. Get in touch with yourself to figure out what is making you stuck.
Fantastic, and you're absolutely right. What gets measured gets managed, and we need a baseline. We need to know where we're starting, because it's really hard. Another reason that we fall off the bandwagon or we don't see our success is because we don't know where we started. So having a baseline, you heard it. Patria said self-awareness, be brutally honest with yourself, take her assessment, know where you are, have a baseline, set your goal one habit at a time, put it in your calendar like Kier said, and these ladies are here for you. They are excited to be a resource for you. And you, yes, you, thank you for showing up here today. You are already on the way because you've heard all these amazing things. I want you to take the one thing that you think will move your needle the most. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Small hinges swing big doors. Just one thing that you can take action on, because action is where the magic happens. And when we do something a little different, we achieve a different result. And that's why we're here. That's what we're here for. We're here to link arms and for us all to grow and excel together. So take action today, not tomorrow, next week, not next week, today. One small step. And then, of course, if you need any additional support, you can always reach out to me. You can find me at JenGaudetCoaching.com. I am here for you. I would love to hear your feedback. I am bringing guests based off of feedback that you have given to me and on topics that you want to hear. So feel free to reach out for in all the socials or in any way, because I'm here for you. And of course, we will catch you the same time, same station next week. As always, go win today, win this week, and we'll see you next week.
This has been a NowMedia Television feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Broadcasting live from Houston, the space capital of the world, this is NowMedia TV. Television for business leaders.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The NowMedia Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The NowMedia Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
¿Ha considerado alguna vez contratar un coach financiero? ¿Pero qué es un coach financiero? Hola, soy Margie Duncan del Grupo Arias. Una forma de ver su situación financiera es darse cuenta que usted tiene, aunque no quiera, una relación íntima con sus problemas financieros. ¿Cuáles podrían ser esos problemas? Digamos, por ejemplo, que está comprando una casa y tiene una hipoteca, necesita restaurar su crédito, necesita algún financiamiento, seguro de hogar, vida o auto. Con respecto a sus finanzas personales, qué tan eficientemente está manejando su dinero. ¿Está planificado correctamente su jubilación de acuerdo a las tendencias del mercado a corto, mediano y largo plazo? Aquí en el grupo Arias lo entrenamos en todo lo anterior. Así le ayudamos a definir claramente sus objetivos. Llámame hoy a 713-545-6830 para recibir su plan financiera gratis.
If you are looking for someone who can provide stunning photography and videos and knows exactly what it takes to get your listing sold or boost your personal brand, Matt Pierce Photography is your solution. My focus is on helping you make the very best first impression that you possibly can. We help you use images and videos effectively in your brand and marketing design to tell your story. Give your corporate image the presence it deserves. Your headshot and your branding is your first impression with clients and business partners. What message are you sending? At Matt Pierce Photography, we believe that pictures and video make information easier to remember, so it makes your message stick. With clean, sleek, simple, and powerful, well-edited images and videos will make you stand out from the crowd. Get your products or listings sold quicker and establishing you as an expert, attracting new clientele. We also offer an array of other products and services such as video walkthroughs, property and agent commercial videos, and a full-service video production house to help bring your story to life. See, when you grow, we grow. So let's grow together. Matt Pierce Photography is your solution for your real estate, corporate, branding, or marketing photography and video needs. Take a decisive step on growing your image and telling your brand story. Call me today for a free consultation.
As a critical aspect of your operations, you need the right technology partner to provide you and your business the peace of mind of having reliable and efficient IT systems. In addition, with cyber threats, ransomware at an all-time high, adequate, continuous, and proactive data protection for your business is an absolute must. Hi, this is Roland Parker with Impress Computer Solutions. We are experts in tailored IT solutions and professional 24/7 IT support services. We proactively monitor, maintain, manage, and protect your IT and data assets. Additionally, we have the know-how and horsepower to do the correct procuring of any and all computer systems or software your company may need. Having the correct IT infrastructure and not being able to operate safely and correctly is very expensive and can eventually destroy growth. So take a decisive step and call me today for a complimentary consultation at 281-647-9977 for your unique IT needs.
En vivo desde Houston, la ciudad espacial. Esto es NowMedia Televisión. En vivo desde Houston, la ciudad espacial. Esto es NowMedia Televisión.